Alexandre Daigle became a hero in the NHL, but not for much more than the money he made and the chicks he dated. Ooh. I might dress up as a nurse, too, for $12 million and a shot at Pamela Anderson. Ugh. Yes. It's been a strange career for the former #1 overall pick, and many wonder why the member of the Minnesota Wild keeps playing.
That's a good question.
I was at ESPN Magazine, and we started doing all of these stories about people who loved hockey, and we heard that Alexandre Daigle, the #1 pick that wasn't, was in Davos and had this like new lease on life. I pitched the story to my editor-in-chief, and I was very thrilled when he said, sure, go to Switzerland. The knock on Alex was that he didn't love the game enough to ever be the best that he could be. But he loved the game enough to go to another continent to continue to play the game. And I just thought that that had to be a really good story.
In 1,000 rinks in 1,000 towns, here's the great Canadian game, hockey.
In Canada, hockey is like a religion.
The younger you begin, the sooner you learn.
Life is where we spend time between periods.
Nowhere in Canada is it more important than in the province of Quebec.
Quebec, La Belle Province, where the heroes are hockey stars.
The players are picked and groomed for possible big league futures, trained by expert coaches.
Center Alexandre Daigle, hometown Laval, Quebec. Alexandre Daigle is being touted as the next in a long succession of great offensive players that is carried from Richard to Beliveau to Lafleur to Lemieux.
The first pick, Alexandre Daigle.
They were expecting him to be some kind of savior.
Did it work out the way that a lot of people predicted it would, and maybe he dreamed it would? No.
Bon.
Bon, on recommence. Attention pas me blesser. Fait que tu peux pas te fier quand ils sont jeunes, comment ils sont, parce que tu sais pas comment ils vont devenir.
I grew up, a big town now called Laval.
It was primarily French-speaking.
Primarily. 102% French. Couldn't be more French than that.
C'était le pire patineur que j'ai vu dans ma vie. Je donnais des conseils positifs comme prépare tous tes patins, tes checks avant la game. Parce que quand tu fais ça, tu penses à ta game.
It was always comforting going into the car knowing that, you're really down, but no, this guy won't be down.
C'était la grosse qualité. Il était déterminé. Il n'y avait rien qui l'arrêtait. Dans le hockey, mais là, je le vois qu'il est un des meilleurs du groupe. Fait que là, il s'en revient à la maison. Fait que là, il me dit, il s'en va en pratique. Fait que le coach, il dit, tu sais que j'ai choisi la semaine passée, venez-vous-en avec moi. Fait qu'il part puis il s'en va avec lui. Il a fait l'équipe, c'était le meilleur joueur.
And he didn't realize it. And I was the best players on the team.
Puis finalement, ben, il est devenu un super patineur. Puis oui, Bantam, c'était amazing.
That was a great thing because I was shy, and you're making friends with guys that have the same goals, the same fun. I loved it.
What were your other hobbies off the ice?
Other hobbies? Come on, it doesn't exist. Hockey was the only focus, the only thing I wanted to do.
The goal for most, if not all these young prospects is to be drafted high in the Quebec Major League and then from there be drafted in the NHL.
Get that dream pumping, and it became a reality. 12, 13, 14, I was pretty much dominating the leagues.
We all heard about him, so I saw him play. First time was probably midget AAA. That's the first time that you really play with all the best players in the province, and he was an amazing player.
Oui, il n'a que 15 ans et il domine un circuit où la majorité des joueurs sont âgés de 16 et même 17 ans.
My goal was to score 50 goals in midget.
Daigle domine les marqueurs du circuit Bayard-G à la mi-saison avec un total de 28 buts et 24 passes en seulement 21 matchs.
I realized, hey man, I have a chance. Halfway through the season, broke my wrist. And so every practice, every game, tape it up, let's go. 50 goals, let's fucking do it.
À 6 pieds et 160 livres, ce jeune homme originaire de Laval représente tout un espoir pour la Ligue de hockey junior majeur du Québec.
You had to be tough, show toughness. I could still play with a broken wrist.
How do you make it sound so easy?
Wow, because it was not a choice. You know, the injury comes, the draft is coming up, all those elements together, I didn't want to stop.
Tu sais, je me fixe pas pantoute d'objectifs. J'essaie de faire mon mieux, puis quand ça va être le temps, j'espère être premier.
And I did it. 50 goals, 60 assists, 110 points.
Je pense qu'il n'y aura pas de cachette. Alexandre Daigle, Régent Laval-Lanaudière.
There are no holes in Alexandre Daigle's game.
But with Alex, it was really those first 3 steps and the guy was gone.
He was an excellent skater, one of the best I've seen.
Jusqu'à Daigle. Il accélère, ça mène au centre. Quelle forte accélération. Le tir à Alexandre Daigle. Juste pour un jeu comme celui-là, ça vaut le déplacement ici au Colisée de Bois-Francs. Ça vaut le fait que vous soyez demeuré à la maison pour regarder la rencontre. Et ça vous montre ce qu'est Alexandre Daigle. Il a une panoplie de jeux.
By the time Alexandre Daigle rolls around as a high prospect 18-year-old in 1993, you have this system where the worst team in the league got to pick the first player in the draft. And at that time, that was the Ottawa Senators.
The National Hockey League is returning to Ottawa. They'll be called the Senators.
How bad were they? Well, they made the ESPN Highlights of the Year, and that was Andrew McBain falling down the steps at the Chicago Coliseum. They were bad.
We had a terrible season. We almost set a record for futility. And you start looking forward, okay, who are the potential top picks next year? And Alex was this French-Canadian superstar in the making.
You know, they would say, well, he has the hockey sense of Marilyn Mew. He's faster than Jean Beliveau. He was a Canadian. We were a Canadian market. We were Canada's capital city. So Alex Daigle fit the bill for what we were trying to find, and he was the player that we wanted.
He's a franchise player, the kind of player who can secure a team's future on and off the ice. But you have to finish dead last to draft him.
San Jose and Ottawa were in last and second last place.
You have teams saying that the proper strategy, since we're not going to make the playoffs anyway, is to tank. If we tank and we come in last, we get Alexandre Daigle. And so he had this race to the bottom. So the Ottawa Citizen began playing this up a lot. It became known as the Daigle Cup. And they ran this daily, saying where the standings were. And those standings in Ottawa of the worst teams became far more important than the standings of the best teams.
We weren't trying to lose. Like, believe me, as bad as we were, it looked like it, but we weren't trying to lose.
That concept was unequivocally never discussed. In fact, when the Daigle Cup started this whole media momentum, I called the president of the San Jose Sharks and I proposed a deal to him. Let's agree that the team that finishes second last gets the first pick. Art totally flatly shut me down, reported it to the league. I got a call from the league saying, please don't discuss this ever again, and I concurred.
On 32 nights, it's been a sellout. Ottawa's fans wanting to win, expecting to lose. But tonight, a chance to win by losing.
They should lose a game for the first pick.
There's no use battling it now. Go for Daigle. It's obvious the future is Daigle. He can see it. He knows it. Lose the game, and it's yours. Your future is basically riding on this game.
They've lost 70 games. I can't even imagine playing on a hockey team that lost that often.
And it wasn't all that long after that that you went to a draft lottery. So that will stand in history as Alexandre Daigle's greatest contribution to hockey.
Wow. Imagine you read all this and 18 years old and it's like, man, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what's your move. You don't know if you should comment on it. It's not an easy task. We are outside the home of Alexandre Daigle in Laval, Quebec, about 25 kilometers north of Montreal. For a guy who should be jumping out of his skin, Daigle seems remarkably cool. It's expected that he'll be chosen first overall in the upcoming draft.
I've always liked to get in the home of your first pick because you learn a lot about the way they're raised and the type of family they came from. So Rick Bowness and I went down to meet with Alex and his parents.
We're very excited. It was the first time we really met people from the NHL. They came in, we're all dressed up, ready to go.
And, Mr. and Mrs. Daigle were incredibly gracious. Alex was Alex.
He had that personality right away, like smiley, happy, he's the fun.
He had said a couple of things in French that he wasn't sure we understood, but we did.
Yeah, I have a lot of options in front of me, so I will take the right one.
It's no secret the Quebec Nordique would love to have him, and they've already said they'd trade a bundle to get him.
They really put pressure to sign that contract before the draft because Ottawa was really scared I was not going to show up like Eric Lindros.
The Quebec Nordiques are very proud to select Eric Lindros.
It was a ugly situation.
Lindros just simply took that sweater, draped it across his arm. He will not put the sweater on. He made that perfectly clear to the Quebec Nordiques.
He refused.
In Canada, with high taxes, you're always concerned about players' desirability to be in your market. And I raised the issue with Pierre, and he was crystal clear that if you draft Alex, he will come.
Our position was, let's not wait. Our fans were excited.
Alex was bilingual, handsome, dashing, funny, charming, great player. All the things that the Franco-Canadian fans love.
Apparently, the two sides have agreed in principle to a 5-year deal worth anywhere between $10 and $14 million. But if Daigle works out to be the franchise player they think he'll be, it'll be worth every penny.
He wasn't equipped to be put in that position.
And next thing I know, I'm getting drafted.
What do you think about the draft coming up?
I hope to be number one. It's like a wedding in a sense.
I guess we just stand here.
Talking to everybody, try to please everybody.
So we're looking forward to seeing you next season. Okay.
It goes so quick that it becomes a blur.
They put Alexandre Daigle in a horse-drawn buggy with Jean Beliveau. People truly believed that Alex was the next coming. Everywhere he went, cheers and screaming. Young men wanted to get their girlfriends photographed with him.
A lot of 18 and 19-year-olds in this building are very excited, along with our audience from coast to coast in Canada this afternoon. This is a great year to be looking for a franchise player, is it not?
Certainly is. Well, it makes you realize how young they really are. 18 years old, you think of the NBA draft or the NFL draft, and certainly the players they're taking are 20, 21 years old. Alexandre Daigle, 2 years of major junior hockey. 4 years ago was playing Bantam hockey. Now here he is, ready to be number one pick.
The first pick in the 1993 entry draft, the Ottawa Senators welcome Alexandre Daigle.
Daigle is the consensus #1 draft pick, the best player available.
No question about that.
We felt this is the young man that you can build a world-class National Hockey League team around.
He's just an explosive offensive weapon.
Alexandre is proud too, and all our family is very, very, very proud.
He's going to step in next year, and he's going to play, and he's going to do well. And so it's a great day for us.
I knew I was going first, so after that I said, how do I play it? I got a little surprised, but I was not at all.
Quelle journée mémorable. J'étais plus jeune là-dessus.
Meeting the team was just the beginning. Then it was time to meet the media. And then it was on to 4 separate photo sessions, a preview of what's to come, of stardom, and finally, a chance to sit back and reflect on his day.
The biggest of my life. It's such an unbelievable thing for me, for my family, all the guys who knew me. It's such a great feeling. I work all those years to come here, and I am here, and I'm first, so it's amazing.
Ta mère a pleuré.
Well, I remember I had his first installment of a signing bonus, which was $500,000. So I called him into my office to give it to him. I said, Alex, this is a lot of money. What are you going to do with it?
He wanted to buy his mother a car.
She was taking the bus to work every day, so I had to change that system.
We went for car shopping, and he bought this beautiful Buick and put a big red bow on it and parked the car. I remember, like, not in the parking lot, kind of on the lawn, right? And Mom gets out and goes, "Who parked the car on my lawn, right? He goes, Mom, and then she sees the big bow, right? She goes, what? It was very cute.
So that's good. What are you going to do with the rest of it? He said, I'm going to pay off my parents' mortgage.
That's something I always wanted to do. We're starting the season in midget, but midget, you pay a premium to play in that league. So my parents paid it, but they forgot, well, they didn't forget. It was just I needed new skates as well. I was growing, and they didn't have the money for the skates, so
my dad had to go and borrow the money.
First check, that's what I did. I paid my parents' mortgage, and that was it. I think it was 60,000 Canadian at the time, and I bought myself a car, and pretty much it. I didn't buy anything for a long time. Giving me all the fun stuff. Later it'll be just, the negative will come in. Just before lunch, huh?
Alexandre Daigle has arrived, and all eyes are watching him.
Everywhere he went, it was awe-inspiring.
Daigle is the exclusive property of the Senators.
I think I met every single person in Ottawa.
To help him, the team is training him in public relations and working to improve his English.
Don't have enough verbs to express what I really think.
He was an 18-year-old child when he got here. And of course, there was the media controversy. During a session, Alex had said, no one remembers who goes second.
You know, my approach, I was super naive. So there's always a race in Montreal, the F1 race, and I won that year, and with my dad. And we always say, you know, the guy who wins in Montreal the next year, you don't remember who was second.
From Peterborough, Chris Pryor.
I was literally talking about that day. I was not talking about a career, and I was not, you know, I was not overthinking my answer, and that's what, you know, they took that line and they rode for forever.
The other thing that happened was one of the hockey card production companies put out a picture of him dressed up as a nurse.
First of all, I looked great. I was tight, you know, I had abs at that time, but you know, I'm a very easygoing guy, and so I went to the shoot. I'm by myself, I have no agent, nobody, you know, making decisions there, and they threw all those outfits out there. So I said, oh, okay. That's pretty funny, and yeah, the worst decision ever as far as, you know, being taken seriously, people making fun of you. It was like just terrible.
This was deemed almost a crime.
It was tabooed, it wasn't accepted.
People were really pissed off about it.
I was very upset. I just didn't feel that it cast Alex in the right light.
That's not how we do things in the NHL.
There's no way it was.
Alex wasn't acting like a hockey player when he said no one remembers who comes second. Alex wasn't acting like an NHL hockey player when he dressed up in a nurse's outfit.
And he's still to this day, 30 years later, sometimes I meet people and they talk to me about it. I say, oh, seriously, man? Wow. So a lot of my plate during that summer. Oh, man, what the fuck am I doing? It's at the end of the road. Daigle, you got me, I'm done.
Alexandre Daigle has arrived, and all eyes are watching him.
I'm just a little bit nervous because it's pros.
The real pressure will come as he tries to meet expectations of a team in desperate need of a talent, of a city in need of a superstar.
Hockey is such a fun thing, and when you have a person that you want to believe in and cheer for them, it's like, oh my God, and he's nice, and he has this big smile, and he speaks French and English, and people were expecting him to score like 50 goals the first season.
The franchise tried his best to blend in with the scrimmaging veterans, but it simply isn't possible anymore.
The expectations were...
For the Ottawa Senators, we're going to see the debut of Alexandre Daigle.
Alexandre Daigle.
And they're banking their future on this young man.
I always say it's never about the results, it's about what you expected.
For me, it was, okay, am I good enough to play in this league? First month, I had one of my best months ever in the league.
He's on a pace now to exceed Wayne Gretzky, Mario Lemieux, and Eric Lindros in their first seasons in the National Hockey League.
That was the game spécial.
Oh.
There's his parents sitting in the stands here at the Forum. Must be a special treat.
Merci beaucoup. Bon match. Étiez-vous nerveux quand vous êtes arrivé?
Oui, parce que pour moi, joué à Montréal.
est venu le gêner. Contre-attaque d'Alexandre Daigle. Daigle, une passe arrière qui va à Kekalainen, une autre à Daigle. Devant Kekalainen, et but!
Now it's Yashin out in front. They score! The Ottawa Senators have beaten the Montreal Canadiens on an overtime goal. Their first ever win in the Montreal Forum.
It's like the big thing. Going to the Forum, it's like my first game in the league, really for me, because it's so big, and all my family were there, everything, so it was a tremendous feeling.
C'est là que j'ai compris vraiment qu'il jouait dans la Ligue nationale.
Merci beaucoup. Bonne fin de match. Merci. De retour à Claude et à Gilles. Messieurs.
Yeah, that's a nice answer. He said that's when I realized my son was playing in the NHL.
You know, over the years, you know, there's one or two generational player that could play at 18 years old and be so impactful. So Alex wasn't ready to be that player going into an organization like this.
Apart from Alexei Yashin and Alexandre Daigle, Ottawa has no one to put the puck in the net. Between them, the two have 27 goals, as much as the 11 remaining forwards combined.
We didn't have the depth. And as a result, he was exposed to more difficult matchups, and we didn't have the support mechanism internally to help him deal with it.
It's as if he had no one to talk to and be like, tell me how it is, tell me how this works. Crosby, for example, when he was drafted by the Penguins, he lived with Mario Lemieux for years. Alex didn't have that, and it would have made probably a very, very big difference.
They go on to lose 61 games that year, and he does end up scoring 20 goals. You would think, wow, that was actually kind of impressive, but because he hadn't scored 50 goals and 100 points, he was just branded as not meeting expectations.
And the lockout happened.
We believe that the prudent course of action is to put things on hold.
That made the perfect storm.
The other teams weren't not necessarily as thrilled about Alex's contract as maybe we were.
They say it's way out of line to pay millions to an unproven commodity.
2 years ago, #1 pick, he got $475,000 a year. The 1993 pick got 5 times as much.
It's more money than anybody could have ever imagined a rookie getting. So it sent shockwaves through the entire hockey system.
It basically led to salary caps on entry-level contracts.
It became the Alex Daigle clause, so to speak, you know.
Puts a target on you, for sure.
They claim he gets $37,902 a game, which translates to $12,634 a period.
He's good looking there, but he's definitely not good looking on the ice.
This was by far the worst team in hockey.
We finished dead last overall in the league 4 consecutive years. Alex, of course, he became the scapegoat.
That was the face of it. In Ottawa, it's a bilingual city, so who's going to do the French interview after a game? It's going to be me. Who's going to be an English side? It's going to be me. So you're always there, so you're going to be the first criticized.
Tell us why the Senators have had problems scoring in the first period this season.
Is the NHL harder than you thought?
Are you very annoyed that you guys haven't done better than you have?
And you imagine answering those questions in English, then second-guessing the way he answered them, then having to sort of rethink them and then go answer them in French again, and just talk over and over again, literally double the time anyone else would have to, about how bad you and your teammates were that night.
Here comes Daigle. Deke shoots and misses the entire net.
Got to wonder how that plays on a young man's mind. Making that kind of dollars, Greg, and you're simply not performing.
I remember Alex had been scoring for a bit, and I'm in the crowds, and there's like 20,000 people. Alex got the puck. I hear, ooh, ouch. It hurt me. Right away, he got rid of the puck.
The fans are all over him all the time. He's got no room to breathe whatsoever.
We're just walking, and I see people like walking towards us. We have to keep walking, otherwise we'll get stuck.
Are you having fun yet?
Yeah, having fun during when I play. Nobody can bug me and all those stuff, so I just laugh and play hockey. That's it. When you don't have fun, you quit hockey.
No chance for Ottawa. Daigle moving down on the right wing, cuts in front, and he's taken out by Danico and goes crashing into the net, and he is hurt.
Broke both bones. That was the end of my season right there.
And boy, he's holding that left arm and is in a lot of pain. We're going to take a short break.
It takes a long time to be a good player and to be an overall good player and an impact player. Most people are impact player at 18, 19, or 20. You learn from experience in the league what it takes to become successful, and so it took me a while to, well, not a while, but trials and errors, and after that I got it down. But Dedication was always on top of everybody's lyrics and saying, yep, that's the problem. Well, maybe there's more to it.
La saison 96-97 va être très importante pour Alexandre Daigle puisqu'il est à la dernière année de son contrat de 4 ans. S'il ne produit pas, il le sait. Il ne sera pas de retour à Ottawa.
Hockey players, they play hockey, but they have a lot of time to think, right? So on those like dead times, you think about stuff.
I think that the people who are the best at what they do, there's still that element of fun and play that happens with them, and that's why they're so good at what they do, because it doesn't feel like work and they want to show up. At some point, that process became not fun for Alex.
Oh, he's hammered at center ice and knocked into next Tuesday.
When you're not used to reading the papers and getting the TV coverage, and now you can understand it and look at it and see it, yeah, geez, there's a lot of negative that goes into your head, and it's I don't think that's healthy.
When it got too hard for him on the ice, you look away.
Maybe the dedication wasn't there early on.
Because my stats were not up to par, dedication became the biggest issue.
That has been one of the things about Daigle. He hasn't competed at certain times.
Alex said he was interested in film and things like that.
I heard somewhere that someday you'd like to be a stand-up comic.
What? You're interested in something other than hockey? Are you sick?
So is your social life a bit of a distraction?
My social life?
Yeah, I mean, come on, you were young, you had a lot of money, you're a nice-looking guy.
The reputation was certainly following him around.
No, seriously, I mean, do you think that...
Seriously?
What? No, seriously.
I'm serious.
I mean, a lot of people say, like a lot of people say, you know, he's a glitter boy, got a lot of money, good-looking guy, you know, he's not serious about the sport because it all has come so easy to him. But it really hasn't, has it?
A lot of times when I look at those interviews and the tape, it's reporters that put me in a spot, and people are watching this. It seems like I want to shoot myself, or it's like a tough time, and it's not the case. It's just tough for me to explain to a reporter that comes and trying to find a reason why my performance are not what was expected of me when I was drafted first overall, and in the meantime, I got to look very sad, but I'm having a great life.
So he found the right remedy, but that remedy wasn't accepted at the time.
We felt internally that he's never going to meet the fans' expectations. Better for us and better for him if he moved on and had a fresh start somewhere else.
He asked me if I want to stay in Ottawa, and I said, yeah, but I don't think I was that convincing. It didn't take a month and I was traded.
The flight came in yesterday at Philadelphia International Airport from Canada's capital and brought with them, ta-da, Alexandre Daigle.
I was very happy. I really wanted to go to the States and live not under a microscope as much.
Relief, for the last month, a lot of trade talk, obviously in Ottawa, and obviously coming to the Flyers, you had a wish list. Flyers are first in any list.
Players are hoping without any pressure that he's going to blossom into the player that they think he can.
Brendan Moore with a pass for Daigle, splitting the defenseman. Daigle gonna go. He scores! Alexandre Daigle, first goal as a Flyer, is a game winner in overtime.
It's a winning team in here. We got Lindros, we got Brendan Moore, we got Leclerc, we got a lot of stars.
Alexandre Daigle sets up Eric Lindros. With a pass for Sillinger, tipped in front, they score! Alexandre Daigle, tic-tac-toe!
There's that speed from Daigle. Daigle moves up. Sillinger in front, score!
There's the shot. Oh, what a release. A hat trick for Daigle.
And I had a breakaway as well, and I hit the crossbar. Couldn't do wrong that game.
And the Daigle. Is he a pisser or what? I like it.
I was very friendly and always open and always ready to talk to anybody.
So now let me get this right. They had you do this TV show where they made you go to all these Las Vegas shows.
I'm big in Quebec, and I needed a camera on me all the time. Are you kidding?
Is that the kind of thing you like to do? I mean, do you think maybe a career in Hollywood or something like that?
Entertainment?
Yeah, like acting.
I might live there because I got the money, but...
See what I mean? He's modest. What can I tell you?
It was just a fun time.
He's taking that pressure off him, and he go out there and just play the game. And folks, he is coming alive.
I was Player of the Month. I was very proud of myself.
A lot of good athletes have the ability not to get distracted. Alex did not have the ability not to get distracted.
You said you had a good summer training. You had a good summer overall?
Oh, yeah. It was good. I didn't
bet it
miss you
was.
guys.
Funny, my train of thought was just lost there for a moment. All of a sudden, I started thinking about beaches and lifeguards. I'll be all right.
Need those.
I guess so.
Yeah. It was a rumor that came out. It was a little bit of the imaginary of a hockey player, dating somebody that level. It's, that was the beauty of no social media. So there's no proof and I don't have to talk about it. So I don't.
At training camp, Bob Clark was outspoken on perhaps the shape that you came in. Was it a fair assessment from the GM?
Well, I don't think it was fair. I think I was in shape. Bobby Clark, I think he's an old school type guy, and he thought LA was not suitable for a young player to train and to have fun. So that was his view on it. I'm not going to ask anybody what I should do as far as where I should live, and there was no way I was going to listen to anybody on that subject. I had a great start of the season, and Roger Nielsen, the coach, calls me in and he said, "Alex, left the season. We're doing well right now, but we're going to change a few things now." I said, "Really? What?" And he said, "I'm going to make a defensive player out of you." I thought it was a joke at the beginning, and I said, "Listen, Roger," I said, "I scored 26 2 years ago. Let's do it this year. I'm going for 30. And he said, "No, you're not. It's not going to happen. You're going to be a defensive player or you're not going to play." I said, "Roger, man, you do what you have to do. Whatever." And I left.
It's something we deal with NHL players. They achieve something at age 22, 23, I'm arrived, and once you think you're arrived, you're as good as gone.
You want to be at that level, you got to be willing to make those sacrifices. You need to give it all on every aspect of your life. Eric Lindros, he's the guy that I looked upon now, and through all the years that I play, that loved the game the most.
What the people came to see.
When he got into the Hall of Fame, I wrote him an email. Tell him how I felt about playing with him. He was practicing like he was playing. It was like all out and almost cross-checking people. Like he was all in, all the time. I remember once we're doing like races to the puck. The odds I'm gonna win that race are pretty high. Beat him once. Second time I beat him, I received a slashing from him, and I was like, "Oh, okay, this guy's fucking serious." Like, he takes it to the first degree. Don't fuck around with that guy. For me, looking at him, the way he was playing, the way he loved it, the way he was involved, and the way he dedicated his life 100% to the sport, it was pretty amazing.
Did you ever have a feeling that, like, I wish I could dedicate myself that much?
100%, for sure. For sure.
Do you think there's like a specific moment maybe you could point to where you say, like, that's where I didn't have the edge?
Yeah, it was midget. That was the last time really that I had no care in the world, and hockey was the main priority for me. Ended up, leading the league in scoring at 50 goals, and that 50 was always my number that I wanted to reach. So when I reached that, I don't know what happened. It's just, I was like, okay, in my little brain of 15-year-old, I was, what do I do next? And I never really recaptured it. Now, they have a sports psychologist and all those things, and I think it's amazing. But 30 years ago, I don't think so.
Pas que c'était défendu d'en parler, même.
C'est ça.
Ça veut dire que tu pouvais pas parler qu'il fait une déprime ou n'importe quoi.
Ça, je disais que ça a fait une grosse différence dans ma carrière.
Définitif. Puis nous autres, les parents, ben, qu'est-ce que tu veux qu'on fasse? On est comme menottés.
Draft was coming in a year and a half from now, and going through a doctor or for burnout or whatever they want to call it at the time, it was not a good look for a young kid.
Boy, are you seeing a psychologist? You seeing someone? What's wrong with you? You're the first pick overall. The combination of having that goal of scoring 50, being the first overall pick, from there on, he thought he was arrived. It's going to be like this. I'm going to be fine. Only him can probably answer that today.
I never recaptured the edge I had. When that happened at 15, my edge just went away. And when you lose that edge, you're done. When When you grow up and you get to the NHL, it's great. I'm very excited. But when you get that special talent, and you inside of you, you cannot push it the way it should be pushed. It's super sad. And I always remember there was a song. There was a movie and a song that I saw. One was Good Will Hunting.
Look, you got something none of us. Oh, come on.
And I was in Philly when I saw a movie. I remember I went to see it alone.
Why is it always this? I mean, I fucking owe it to myself to do this or that. What if I don't want to? No. Well, fuck you. You don't owe it to yourself. You owe it to me. Because tomorrow I'm gonna wake up and I'll be 50. And I'll still be doing this shit. And that's all right. That's fine. I mean, you're sitting on a winning lottery ticket. You're too much of a pussy to cash it in. And that's bullshit. Because I'd do fucking anything to have what you got. So would any of these fucking guys.
And really made me pause. And years later, there was a song by Eminem. You know, you have one chance. Man, I was there. You don't force yourself to do it. If you force yourself, it ain't gonna work. It's in you, and that's it. The career with Philly was over. They finally traded me to Tampa, the worst team in the league. That didn't last long.
Alexandre Daigle, a top overall pick 5 years ago, traded to the Rangers from Tampa for future considerations.
He came in and actually played very, very well for us.
I'll never forget a play where he was going up the ice through traffic, and somebody made a terrible pass, just caught it with his hand, threw it around, put it right back on his stick, went in and scored.
Daigle shoots, he scores! Alexandre Daigle!
That was a nice goal. Bad pass, though. Jeez, McLean, the fuck?
We do things on the ice where you would just see a glimpse. Wow, like there's only a few people I've ever seen who could do what he just did.
When he didn't do that, he was a very frustrating player.
I think he had enough then. He was physically and mentally exhausted.
The Rangers are fighting for their playoff lives. There's fear in their locker room. And their fearless leader, head coach John Muckler, says that's okay.
John Muckler come in for a meeting. He went through the room to the superstars. What does it mean to make the playoff?
We expect you to get more emotion.
Most of the guys was like, playoff in New York, the fans, this and that. And out of the blue, Muckler asked me, Daigle, what is it for you? I'm sitting in the back, you can barely see me. And I spurred out, I said, well, it might mean a new contract. Wrong answer. Well, I said, John, with all due respect, if you look at it, if we don't make the playoff, we're all gonna be gone. Still the wrong answer. And he left the room.
What's the problem with Daigle? Obviously, I didn't think he was playing well, and that's all I want to say about it.
That was my last game. I never played again for the Rangers. I was 25. I didn't have any commitment. I didn't have any offers. Really wanted to do stuff differently in my way, and I was not missing any of the hockey stuff. And I was like, hey, man, that's a sign. Let's take a break. I think life goes up and down and a lot of curves out there, and there's no blueprint. How you deal with it, yeah, it could be darkness, but it's better darkness before down than down in darkness. You know, the way I am is I live in the moment. All right, we're traveling to Boston, get the bus, get to the rink. Skates, brand new skates, okay, great. You don't see the big picture from the outside. It's dear to my heart as people don't believe that I was just loving the game, but no, I love the game. I played for so many years and I had a great time, great memories, and it shaped my life. And I arrived at a point I was just growing up, just, you know, doing stuff that kids were doing. Never did.
For me, it was more, okay, let's travel, let's have fun, let's not have a care in the world.
At the beginning, it's super fun, but after that, you know, you're looking around, you know, what am I doing? I started playing in the bar league in LA, and it was super competitive. That's where the process of missing it and having a direction in your life comes in. I think when you're trapped in it, you don't see it. You don't see how great you have it, or, you know, what type of fulfillment you get doing it.
Michael, yeah! Oh!
Sometimes it's your job, so you feel like you're trapped, but it's an amazing thing to do.
Actually, we were sitting together at one of those games for fun, and on the bench, and then he said, "I want to talk to you in the locker room after the game." So yeah, so we sit together. He says, "You know what?" He says, "I want to make a comeback." And I look at him, I said, "You serious, Daigle?" He says, "No, I am." Mario Lemieux was here, actually working out. Alex mentioned that he wanted to come back, and they gave him a tryout.
I have a lot of confidence in myself, so I knew if I got the opportunity, I'm going to do well, and yeah, I never blinked.
But he was very determined, and when Alex puts his mind into something, and he's very stubborn and he's focused, and he made the team.
I want to play, I want to have fun, I want to enjoy. It's a great game, it's a great life, and I made the best out of it.
I got sent down, but it was a good thing for me. I got my legs back.
Daigle is a shorthanded master. Look at him fly out there.
I had fun.
Daigle winds up, fires, and scores! A rocket blast from Alexandre Daigle!
The next year, Jacques was willing to give me a chance, and I went to training camp without a contract again, and I had my best season ever.
He makes the play, ties again. Alex Daigle. He's got 18 goals in the year. Forget how many goals he scored. Alexandre Daigle has his passion for the game.
The second time around, he was just a little bit more, you know, this is who I am, and if you don't like it, too bad.
I didn't feel like it was a make or break if I played well or not. I was just part of the team, and it was, okay, you do your stuff.
Great job by Daigle. Watching him grow as a player and as a man really makes you proud of him.
And guess what? While you were calling that first period, he scored his 19th.
Daigle, 27 seconds in, it's a break at the box. He scores.
Picks up his 20th goal of the season.
So immediately when he had a great season, he had the 20 goals and an amazing year, we're looking forward to an extension and another, you know, continuity of this whole thing. And then there's a full lockout, and we missed out a full year.
And I got approached to go to Europe, and my girlfriend at the time, that became my wife, it was a no-brainer. Yeah, let's try this. It seems awesome. No clue what I was getting into. The only thing I knew was I had a contract for 2 years, and I'm going to Switzerland.
I remember him driving me out in this snowstorm to go to this restaurant. We'd like 3 feet of snow the night before, and like you're driving on this road that has like a wall of ice on both sides, and we're in a club-issued hatchback, fishtailing all over the place, and there was no seatbelt, super nervous. And Alex is just in the front seat, just super chill, one hand on the steering wheel, completely relaxed. And I just remember thinking, well, if that's not, you know, indicative of where he is in his life as opposed to where he was 5 years ago, 10 years ago, I don't know what is. He just was so much more comfortable over there.
It's a different life, and it's a different way to approach hockey that I really loved.
Playing in the National Hockey League, traveling all the time, if you don't have a certain mentality, that is really going to wear on you. And the Swiss League was like the polar opposite to that.
You walk down and just play your game and go back home. It was like, there's not a big process involved into the game. I'm so happy I did it, and we started a family. It's amazing. Couldn't ask for more there.
I remember walking into that arena the first night, the first time he touches the puck, he gets the puck and bam, he's gone.
I got respected right away, and I had a good ride from now on. We won 2 championships. It was just amazing.
So my ESPN magazine story, the headlines ends up being, it's a long road from great to grateful. I think Alex got to a point where he was able to look at his life and say it may not be exactly what everyone else wanted it to be, but it was still pretty darn good.
Pre-game, huh?
Now I'm coaching my son, and it reminds me of the time I was doing it with my dad, and my dad was talking to me about life, about the game, and always in a positive tone, and always looking bright to the future. And if I could teach that lesson to my kids, everything will be worth it. Vince? Viens manger? It's hockey, it's soccer practice, it's school play. This is what it's all about.
Go, 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 go!
It's a good life.
Très, très fier. Disons que moi, je l'ai suivi de la tombe, du novice, aller jusqu'à la Ligue nationale. Moi, je pense que ça a tout le temps bien été. Ça aurait peut-être pu aller mieux, ça aurait peut-être pu aller moins bien. Mais ça a très bien été. Remarquez comme père, je pense qu'il est parfait, peut-être mieux que moi. Là.
Yes!
Non, comme père, là, perfect. Félicitations.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy it. I gotta admit, there's way more positive out of this than I thought. And I look at it, I'm saying, geez, it's not that bad. And that was not the view I had. So, thank you, but I have to go, my friend. I loved it. Send me the tape. Donc c'est un moment que je vais me souvenir toute ma vie. Que je sois partout, que je voyage, c'est pas grave. Tout va toujours. Oh, super grave, dans la vie. Merci beaucoup.